that we ain't deporting anybody like that. Now, if we talk about newborns, kids, like, I don't know, probably gonna have the age from 0 to 5 of, oh, you were just born here, but your parents are illegal immigrants. All right, well, you're going back with your parents. Now, if they done finessed it for like, I don't know, 15, 20 years, you over here, established member of society, well, you're here. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. It's going to be something pretty damn reasonable.
No questions asked, they're gone.
It makes sense that no great nation can be in a position where they can't control their borders. I've been arguing for the need to put more protection at our borders.
And this is the same man who took protection off the border. I mean, and you're right, Biden wasn't running anything, but whoever Biden's handlers were in the Biden administration, they took off the borders. And this was him in 2008 when him and Barack Obama was, deporting people left and right. So it's kind of crazy how Biden goes from, rocking with the deporter in chief to now himself being the person who lets all these people in. I guess he had some regrets, I guess.
So I think what you have to do is you have to have a significant increase in the security at the border, including limited elements where you actually have a fence. So I think the combination of virtual fencing, some fencing, additional,
that's interesting, Mr. Dockhill.
Additional border patrol is important.
I think we should have strong border security. It doesn't make sense for us to allow hundreds of thousands of people coming through our borders without us knowing who they are.
Now, Obama, why couldn't you have told that to Kamala instead of trying to, wag the finger at us for not voting for Kamala? You could have said that to Kamala instead of talking to black men, ask for us to vote for Kamala. Maybe if you'd have told that to Kamala, we might have been able to get behind Kamala. You never know. Maybe if you'd have, spit some of this, knowledge on her.
Oftentimes in very hazardous situations and unmonitored situations that could do us long-term damage.
Yeah.
I think we should have a serious employer.
Come back to your senses or just continue doing what you're doing until it runs your political party into the ground. Oh, what's that? Democrats have learned nothing?
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. Every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
Yep, they're keeping up the sanctuary city nonsense. That's the governor of Massachusetts promising that her state won't assist with deportations. No biggie, just violating her oath to the Constitution. Just to get a couple seconds of fame, look at me, standing up to Trump. Here comes the resistance again. But someone ought to inform the Democrats in Massachusetts that their state shifted rightward almost more than every other state in the union. It's clear the Democrats lost the moral argument, and that the electoral will of the people was to enforce border laws, to get the job done, and it seems as though the Trump administration
and as my man
fully
Guess Dude
intends
kept
on
saying,
doing so. And now
it's the mandate of the people. Like, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Y'all lost. Like, terribly. I mean, God damn, it couldn't even have been close. I can't even sit there and say, oh, we were only 100K votes off. This is a rigged. Bro, y'all can't even say that. I mean, y'all got blown the hell out. Honestly, I wonder what y'all gonna do from here to the January. But to the inauguration, January 20th. I wonder what y'all gonna do, because I ain't gonna lie, and this may sound bad when I say it, but I'm gonna laugh my ass off if you try to pull a January 6th. I mean, y'all not built like that. I mean, y'all don't even believe in protests for real. I mean, look how much you guys were against January 6th. Imagine how stupid y'all be doing it yourselves. So I know y'all not gonna do that. So what is y'all gonna do? Well, I know what you should do. Sit back and enjoy these 4 years, man, of prosperity. Let's go.
Well, and I've heard some arguments from the left claiming it's impossible. It'll cost way too much money.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport a million people a year.
James, you out here trying to start problems in the lesbian community, I see.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
But is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Hell yeah.
It's going to cost.
And you know, so funny. Oh my, bro, he was a savage. He was a savage.
Carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there's. Families can be deported together.
He's a savage. This man don't care. Oh my God. Oh my God, he's ruthless. We need him, bro. I need this guy. We come on, go and send him to the border. He's the border czar now. Let's go. He's a savage. Let's go. And it's funny because you know black people get deported too. Yes, the ones that come over here and commit crime, they gonna get their ass deported. Yeah, right, as they should. The hell wrong with y'all? What you think we don't know that, black bro? I'm at for the Haitians to get deported too. You come on. All the Africans who came over here crazy as hell, Indians, I don't give a fuck. Goodbye. I don't know you. Hey, you ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. It's like, you think I give a damn what color they is, man? They came in here illegally. I don't give a fuck. Get them out of here.
It's going to cost billions upon
now,
billions.
Actually, I'm feeling like my man right here. Like, you know what? This is my attitude about the border. This guy right here, with his mean ass mug and cold expression, that's gonna be my attitude. Just they can be deported together, one big happy family. Yep, together.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what it would?
Senate, I'd say there's a decent chance that it is possible, and I've heard some arguments from the left claiming it's impossible. It'll cost way too much money.
Really, it would cost way too much money, but y'all did it though. So why'd y'all do it knowing it would cost $88 billion? Then why'd y'all do it? Why'd y'all do it for seeing this? So tell me, hold on, y'all created a problem. Now y'all bitching about how much it would cost to fix it? You created the problem. Shut the fuck up. Bro, none of y'all Democrats should be talking about this border problem no more. Y'all created the problem. Shut up and let us fix it. I don't give a damn what the price is at this point. Y'all made the problem. Y'all wasn't even going to try to fix it. Okay? Shut up. Want to talk about $88 billion. Yeah, we needed that for the goddamn border the last time. Y'all wanted to send most of it to Ukraine and Israel. Shut up.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on our national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there's. Families can be deported together.
Mark, I think you're being copied again.
It's going to cost billions upon billions of dollars every single year if you want to deport 1 million illegals. And this counter argument, let me tell you, it's...
And you're right, my immigrants vote for who let them in. Bro, I had a whole video of a whole bunch of immigrants stashed away in some hotel in Arizona going like, yeah, I'm voting for Kamala because Trump said he's going to kick us out day one. So if Trump get elected, I got to go. And I love it. I love it. I just love it. I just love it. They already know what's up. Trump 2024, you got to go. Out the door.
Blatantly idiotic. $88 billion. Is that the number she's...
And make sure to put back the barbed wire when you're on your way out, man. Come on, bro. That shit costs money.
Cited? Yeah, well, you know, the cost of the border crisis alone is already at $150 billion and counting. And that might be with a very conservative lens or outlook. That's not counting the economic effects of Americans losing out on jobs.
$150 billion is costing us. And then y'all want to complain about the $88 billion you take to fix it. It's like, bro, be quiet.
Or all the under-the-table money that isn't being taxed or recycled domestically, but rather being sent abroad.
That's like your little kid breaking, bro. That's like your kid breaking something, and then you gotta clean it up, and they're complaining about how you're cleaning it. Like, bro, like why you gotta sweep? Why can't you just use a vacuum? It's like you damn near want to slap them. Like, are you serious? you made this, and ain't no way.
It's not counting the crime crisis or what local states and counties are dealing with. And so Democrats are stating it's going to cost $88 billion to deport 1 million illegal migrants. I don't know, seems almost fiscally responsible, doesn't it? Of course, that's exactly what it is. And the implication that it's going to cost this every single year is ridiculous. Once the law has been enforced and once people realize that the law is being enforced, the problem is likely to dwindle to a fraction of where it is today. In other words, it's not going to cost as much money to deal with it because you'll have a ding 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 secure border and secure nation. You know, just like every other modern nation across the globe. You know, the Democrats try to play this emotional game, but their policies on this
and here's the thing though. Break that down, Democrats, because y'all been coming up with BS ass numbers all year. So now it's hard. I don't even know why we even believe the numbers y'all come up with. So break that down, how it costs $88 billion a year. And then try to explain how that's not your fucking fault. Excuse my language, but I ain't gonna lie, that kind of did piss me off. I'm like, y'all have the nerve to complain about something that y'all let get bad for 3.5 years? There's no way, like, ain't no way I'm hearing that. And shout out Hell Batman. Let's not forget the term anchor baby and get rid of that too. There should be no reason for an illegal immigrant being unaffected for breaking the law. Oh God, it's like, come on now, the anchor baby got to go with you. As my man says, they can be deported together. I'm like, cold. And he's a savage. God damn it, Trump got the savages, man. We need the savages back.
Issue especially have caused untold suffering. It can only be described as human catastrophe. And now they're trying to make an argument about fiscal responsibility. Give me a break. You guys are the ones creating a crisis that's running the country into debt. I mean, multiple compounding crises. It's time to find a solution, not fund endless bureaucracy. See, again, this is what the Democrats do. They cause a crisis and then try to create a bloated bureaucratic department to continue dealing with that crisis or enabling the crisis. Look what they do with substance abuse. They let it run rampant on the streets and then create big government entities where they're spending all kinds of money on a bunch of paper-pushing
bro, I'm so thrown back by the audacity. It's like, I can't, it's unreal. It's almost unreal. It's like, y'all create the problem that y'all want to bitch about the price that's going to take to fix the problem? I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't even imagine doing that, having that much audacity, bro. It's like, what?
Bureaucrats who have no actual incentive to solve the problem. Well, it's the same thing with the border, and you just can't give in to the emotional manipulation, the gaslighting, the finger-pointing, and accusations of fascism or cruelty. They are the cruel ones. They're cruel to the migrants with these false hopes of refugee claims and amnesty. Not to mention they send those migrants directly into the belly of the beast, that being the cartel beast. And of course, the crisis they create is then cruel to the American people and American taxpayers. The Democrats have lost the argument, and it seems like border security may finally be on the way. I think that's at least what it's looking like. I'd say probably the last thing that I need to be fully convinced on this matter is seeing this guy nominated as director of ICE. Then
bro, I swear to God, I'm gonna go to sleep thinking about this point, and I'm a low-key probably gonna wake up laughing tomorrow. Like, bro, they literally did that. They literally caused a problem, then bitch about how we gotta fix it. It's like, oh my God. This is probably the funniest thing these people have done. I ain't even gonna lie to you. This is gold. It's absolute. Oh my God, bro. I damn near want to tell it as a joke. I'm gonna frame it as a joke to somebody, and then I'm gonna actually tell them what the joke is based on. They're probably not gonna believe me. It's like there's just no way. It's like they can't blame themselves for nothing, bro. It's really crazy. It's like, yo, y'all really can't blame yourselves for anything. No accountability at all. Oh my goodness, it's golden. And shout out Maya. That's racketeering. That's what you're describing. Yup. Ain't it crazy? Ain't it crazy? Oh my goodness, bro. It's wild. I actually, you know what? There's no humbleness. They have no humbleness. They literally have no chill. I'm thrown back. It's like, I can't believe it. It's like you would. It's almost, I'm lost for words. I'm just lost for words. It's just too funny. It's just too funny.
Yeah, we got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks. So look, I may be wrong, but my takeaway from this election, if I was a leftist, what I would be focused on would be probably dialing back the extremism gauge, you know, the crazy rhetoric. Yeah, I don't think they got that message.
If you look at the arc of the Biden presidency, he was in really good shape until August of 2021. When Afghanistan happened, he went under 40. She went under 40, and they really lived there until the end of the He's still there.
Why? I'll tell you why.
Because he ran and told us that the adults were back in charge, and that was the opposite.
Yeah, they were because Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
He's a
the fact that they wouldn't give.
Well, that's what you're being, a child. Like, you guys just can't admit that. Well, you're wrong. And Americans don't think he's a child. They don't think he's a felon. They don't think he's a rapist. Actually, they kind of see him as a hero. So sorry that most of America don't share y'all opinion or y'all hatred of Donald Trump. I'm sorry. You just have to sit there and cry about it and get over it.
Give these 13 service members' families the time of day.
Dude,
the time of day.
I'm sorry, but Donald Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers. He did. He absolutely, despite, he has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just.
Oh, yo, he lost his entire life. Bro been up his entire life. I mean, well, what are we saying here? Like, you can hate the man all you want, but like, why? Like, bro, think about how crazy this party is to the point where they're trying to say that, oh, he's not really a billionaire. Oh, he's not a successful businessman. It's like, y'all was talking that crazy. So now that I'm thinking about it, maybe y'all complaining about the problem, us fixing the problem that y'all created now makes a little bit more sense to me now. But I'm still going to laugh at it early in the morning when I wake up. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm still going to laugh at it when I wake up. I ain't going to lie. It's going to be a nice chuckle.
Because he ran and told us he was.
I mean, even line up a joke for the people I work for. It's going to be funny. And shout out Zoloft, 70 more days and daddy's coming home. USA, man. On God, man. Hey, man, he's your daddy now too, man. Shout out shout out Trump. Boy, I know y'all was mad about that one.
That the adults were back in charge, and that was the opposite.
Yeah, they were, because Donald Trump was a child.
And you know what else?
Yeah.
And you know what else?
The
fact that they wouldn't give these 13 service members' families the time of day.
Dude, I'm sorry, but Donald Trump hates veterans. He called them suckers and losers. He did.
No, he didn't.
Absolutely, despite, he has his whole life. He has his entire life.
I know you're super emotional. I just.
Of course I am. I'm terrified.
I'm telling you, the political reality is that when they made that decision.
It doesn't matter, but you don't admit that decision.
Oh, you'll be okay.
You don't admit it. You deny a man, Chief John Kelly, a Marine. You say he lied.
You're still campaigning.
You say he lied. It's not over. It'll never be over.
Oh, no. It's over.
The war in Iraq, the Republican policies that led to those wars, the idea that Joe Biden made the final difficult decision, and his administration and his military leaders. I mean, you guys live on the tippy top of bull mountain. If you actually think that so many people think that the pullout of Afghanistan was the pivot point, are you kidding me?
I mean, I can read a
it was
chart,
one of them.
I can read a poll. I guess you can't. But the reality is when he made
damn
petty insults.
When he made
no, dog. That was like one of the main reasons that one of them was the pullout of Afghanistan and how it got a lot of our soldiers wounded and 13 killed. And the fact that Kamala Harris or Joe Biden didn't show up for the funeral, but Trump did, is even crazier. So, I mean, you want to talk about him calling, like, what you call it, soldiers, suckers, and losers, which he never did. But you want to talk about that. Well, what is it? What are you saying to the soldiers that you got killed and you didn't even show up to their funeral? What are you calling them at the end of the day? What are you saying about their sacrifice at the end of the day? But you Democrats don't want to talk about that. Well, one of the reasons why y'all lost.
Are so weak, dude. You have no idea. Like, I don't even understand if you hear yourself talking. Look, you can laugh all you want, but like, I can't read a chart. Like, it's so hacky. It's so uninteresting.
Look, the reason that we brought this up is because that was from a Democratic.
I mean, the level of arrogance is just through the roof. And really, I thought his behavior was quite telling. This is what the interaction feels like. A bunch of posturing as an elitist Democrat who's right about literally everything, and then, of course, spend the entire debate dismissing everything your opponent says as totally crazy, and they get hyper offended when you get dunked on in the debate. Scott Jennings made a perfect point. This absolute clown does the typical feigning of outrage gaslighting. Are you seriously crazy enough to suggest that the Afghanistan withdrawal was a turning point for the Biden administration? What are you, crazy? I'm an elitist Democrat. I know everything.
Yes. I mean, disrespecting soldiers in that fashion is gonna lose you some people. I mean, what did you think?
And then Scott Jennings just goes, yeah, I can read a poll. And of course he's not wrong. Joe Biden came into office with his freshly inaugurated presidential approval honeymoon, of course bestowed on him by the media, an experience Trump certainly didn't receive during his first term in office. And then what happened shortly after? Joe Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan happened. And then of course, case in point, total approval collapse. It's literally in the polls. We saw it. I remember it like it was yesterday. That was the first little bit that caused the avalanche of Biden-Kamala Harris policy disasters that followed quickly after that. that. But of course, in typical leftist fashion, don't address the point being made, just signal outrage. Throw your handkerchief in the air and take the how dare you approach.
How dare you?
It's just so typical. It's always the same kind of behaviors. This is what lost them the election. This elitist nonsense talking about all these Latino men somehow being out of their minds for voting for Donald Trump.
Yes, we're all racist and misogynist because we didn't want to vote for the cackling woman. It's like, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But no. It's not about being misogynist. It's not about being racist. It's just she just wasn't the woman for the job. She had no real policies. She was thrown in out of nowhere, didn't have to debate any point. She didn't prove that she was the more dominant among her peers. So yeah. I kind of try to finesse a little too hard with this one. Yeah, I kind of thought y'all can get anything past the American people, and you took us for, like, you know, idiots and uninformed people. Well, you were wrong.
They all just cut him off and basically lecture him for 3 minutes.
And for everybody out there wanting Trump to pivot or change or somehow whatever you want him to do, he just won a mandate from the American people to execute on the program that he laid out in this election. It wasn't particularly close. And I think he will put people in place who are going to do it. That's what the people
will go
are
after
asking
his
for.
enemies. I mean, that's.
They went after him. Now, I'm not condoning him going after his enemies. I'm just saying, though, you can't get mad when y'all go after a man the way y'all did. And then be like, oh, go after his enemies? I'm like, what y'all scared about? Oh, because y'all know y'all did it to him. Now y'all scared he might do it to y'all. Oh, okay. But don't worry, CNN. Y'all safe.
That's not what he ran on.
Yes, he did. It is explicitly what he ran on.
That's not what he ran on.
That's not what he ran on.
One dude got sense.
Past week, he literally said that he was going to exact vengeance.
You still don't understand how you lost. He ran on immigration.
Don't say me. I'm not a Democrat.
He ran on immigration.
I'm a journalist.
He ran on inflation.
I'm not here paid to represent one of the many things
he ran on in addition
he ran on the issues that people care about. He ran on the economy.
And nobody's saying that he didn't run on those things, but he also ran on vengeance.
Yes.
He did also run on going after the people who went after him.
And journalists.
Is that fair?
Scott, he literally said, I am your retribution, the Biden crime family. Lock her up.
All they do is...
I mean, well, yeah. Hunter Biden been out there committing crimes. Like, y'all did kind of put my man through a kangaroo court and trumped up and turned misdemeanors into felonies. So, yeah. Actually, yes. He does have every right to go after y'all asses, and y'all deserve it. And if he don't, then honestly, hey, it's through the grace of God, and I ain't even gonna be mad if he don't go after y'all. He honestly, just like you with Hillary, you just take the high road and just keep the main mission going, man. America first, make America great again. That's all we care about. We don't care about y'all asses no more. Y'all done, y'all through. Old news and fake news.
Preach, regurgitate the party talking points, and don't let you speak. And of course, while emoting and feigning all kinds of outrage and emotion in an effort to sway people. I don't have to win the argument. All I have to do is speak over my opponent and pretend as if what he's saying is so outrageous and so morally reprehensible, then I just automatically win. It's constant. I mean, here's another example. I'll play a short bit of it.
I think there are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobic.
To be for real, we hired him to go after the bad guys. Yeah, that is true. But I think more or less he's going to keep the bad guys out instead of actually going after these guys, in my honest opinion. This is just my honest opinion. Now, if he goes after them, then fucking tastic. I mean, hallelujah. But I think the best thing we can get is just not having them in any seat of power. And that's the best thing we can honestly hope for. Because, you know, them going to jail, fantastic. But them also not having any type of access to power, even better. It's like, that's also cool as well. I mean, I ain't even really tripping. Like, you know, let them live their life in shame.
At this table, I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
When you use a word that's a slur, I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen
for a second because
Okay, I definitely do hear your point, Maya, because I'm like, yeah, it would be nice if he did just lock some of their asses up, but let's be real. If he start locking people up, bro, these libs are going to go crazy. I mean, you know what? He might start leaving the country. Because he's going after people who actually did him wrong. They're gonna think that they're gonna go after them too, and they ain't really done nothing but talk shit about him. And that ain't gonna get you put in jail now.
Look, this is a really heated issue, right? And Michael, I know you. I know that you understand that people have different views on this.
James Foley, my man.
Jay, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
Okay, so let me rephrase this since I'm being targeted here.
I don't. Just to be clear, you are not being targeted.
I am, but it's okay.
I'm specifically saying that I know that you are not intending to be transphobic.
He should know that I'm not. But he wants to sit here and bloviate.
Shit, don't ever let me on CNN. I'm like, I'm not intending to be trans. No. I'm trans intolerant. I hate the word transphobic, homophobic. It's like it don't even make sense. Like, I know I'm not scared of trans people. I'm not scared of gay people. I'm just homo intolerant. I'm trans intolerant. Let's call it. Let's change the word. Let's start making words, mean what they're supposed to mean. Cause phobic, no. Intolerant, a little.
You're using a phrase.
Well, I'm not homo intolerant. I'm actually okay with gay people, but trans intolerant. Yeah, I can vouch for that.
I want to give you an opportunity.
So the way regular people interpret it.
Again, instead of talking about the ideas, it's just yell and shame my opponent into agreeing with me. The narcissism of the left is something that honestly ought to be studied. It's this Karen-type behavior. It's why they're so hell-bent on censorship. It's about being an ideological enforcer, enforcing their control over what you can do and what you can say by means of social intimidation. And that in 2024 is exactly what voters rejected. I mean, outright rejected. In this election, the American people said, nope, you won't talk to us that way. We're smart enough to get what's going on. And it's obvious, it's becoming increasingly obvious that they're not paying attention. They're not listening.
Where you have, again, this arrogant, condescending group that says, if you don't vote the way we do, you're a fascist, you're Hitler, you're Hitler-like. It's 1933 again, as Jen Rubin from the Washington Post tweeted yesterday, during the attack on Jews in Amsterdam. She's tweeting about how it's 1933 here. Let's look at Europe for a second.
In some ways, he is Hitler-like. I'm sorry, but that's just...
Bruh. How? Because y'all just say it and y'all can't prove it, but y'all just say it. When y'all are more fascist, then y'all act more fascist than anybody. The way y'all showing out right now proves y'all fascist.
When being told to their face this exact kind of rhetoric is the problem, the leftist responds with that exact kind of rhetoric, in the exact described, condescending, dismissive manner that you might expect, while quoting a bunch of fake news. I feel like we could probably just end it on that video, honestly. This elitist, Democrat Karen nonsense is exactly what's losing them so many votes, and they just continue to act the exact same way. What an utter disaster. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the...
Man, that was actually a pretty good one. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out Liberal Hive Mind. Now let's go to one of our favorite segments here at S.E.T and Key Media. One of our new favorite segments. Shout out. Lefties losing it again. Y'all gonna keep losing it, huh?
Try to neutralize her effectiveness.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It. The post-election analysis is underway, and we've talked about Republicans being blessed with some of the dumbest political opponents on God's green earth. And this next lefty is no exception. Here is Vanity Fair and MSNBC's Molly Jong-Fast blaming not just misogyny, but institutional misogyny and sexy images for Kamala's downfall.
Shout out institutional misogyny.
Leaned into
hey, like I said, why we voted for Trump? Because we're racist, sexist, and anti-gay. Remember, if they ask you why you vote for Trump, you're racist, sexist, and anti-gay.
Out of the institutionalized misogyny as a way to try to neutralize her effectiveness. So she's a super effective speaker, really galvanized voters in a really important way. And what the Trump campaign did, and I think ultimately they were able to, was they flooded the internet with over-sexualized images of her. They spread lies about her romantic history.
That is so completely divorced from reality.
But she did sleep with Willa Brown. We all know that. All of California knows it. What you talking about?
It's unintentionally.
We talking about a lady.
She actually claimed that Kamala is a really effective speaker.
Really?
The word salad queen who can't utter a coherent sentence to save herself. But Molly wasn't done yet. Listen to this bit of bat poop crazy analysis where she claims that Kamala's own campaign, which was hyper-focused on securing the female vote, was actually anti-women.
And you'll remember, she ran this Bros campaign, right? A campaign that was largely sort of anti-woman in a way.
Look, it's only a matter of time before Molly joins the other crazy cat ladies and cuts her hair on camera to protest Trump and democracy.
Have I given up on America? Yeah. I've also given up on coloring this hair because, right? Coloring my hair.
Don't worry, baby girl. Don't worry. They gonna leave you alone. Nothing gonna happen to y'all. Y'all be just fine. But it is funny though, cause that lady, no accountability. No accountability. They were even go as far to blame Harris's party and be like, oh, they were anti-woman. I'm like, bro, they centered their whole shit around abortion and women's reproductive rights and women's health. It's like, what are y'all talking about? The problem was y'all went 2 women and gay. 2 women and gay. Like, come on now, y'all did it to yourselves. Like, come on, grow up here and take some accountability and take the L. It's okay. And as a woman, very excited for Trump 2024 misogyny. Hey, I'm weak as hell. Don't worry, man. It's the type of misogyny where we love women and we protect them. We make sure y'all don't do things that's too hard for y'all. Oh, God. The good misogyny.
Having my hair be long and luxurious. All that being skinny, being hot, and all the things that the patriarchy wants us to be. Because clearly, they don't give a about us. And I'm talking to you, too. Those of you ladies who have the internalized misogyny required to do what you did. Minorities who are so scared of a woman in power that you'd rather cozy up to the white man just in case some crumbs fall off his plate.
Did you forget that you're a white lady? I mean, it's not about him being white, but I mean, did you forget that you're white? Ain't it crazy how they kind of show their racism as soon as you don't agree with them? I told you. And I'm pretty sure most people kind of skate past this and be like, whoa, that was kind of racist to say. I guess that's what y'all really think about us. And I mean, like, all right, well, what about the liberals the black liberals who are voting for Kamala? Aren't they kind of doing the same thing?
So that you may eat from them.
Yes, yeah. That's what they were trying to do. Get Kamala in there because she was going to help them eat off the rich. Go ahead and give them tax breaks and taxes the rich, even though the rich was going to take their job somewhere else and leave everybody broke. But what that was your idea, right? Right? To get the scraps off the rich, right? Okay.
I don't know how to work this thing, but I'm on my way.
Put to one side the dementedness there, the racism, the bold-faced racism.
That's what I'm
against
saying.
Minorities who voted for
Racist
Trump.
as hell.
Marvel at just how hopeless this woman is. She can't even work a clipper. A literal monkey could work clippers. They're not hard to work out. Let's take a little trip down memory lane to just.
Hey, thank you. She wasn't black. Hey, she chose the right joke because if she was black, she said a little monkey could work clippers. Oh my God! I thank God you in Australia, sweetheart, because ain't no way. But anyway, though she ain't lying.
A few weeks ago, when supposed sensible lefty Bill Maher had convinced himself that Kamala was going to win and win comfortably, this has aged like a glass of milk.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now. But I think she will win.
Oh dear, how wrong can you be, Bill? You want to pretend you're the critical thinker, the leftist who isn't protected from reality, but your Trump derangement syndrome has you uttering absurdities like this. I hope Dr. Phil stepped in with a prescription after this rant about Trump's supporters.
His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels, taking the poison and giving the poison to the children because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism.
Dr. Phil's face says it all. This dude is beyond help. Bill Maher may occasionally say something sensible, essentially copying what conservatives have said for years, what we've said when it actually mattered, but in the end, he's just another lefty losing it, like this dude on CNN having a full-blown tantrum because a conservative on the panel, Shermichael Singleton, actually used accurate language to describe boys as boys.
There are a lot of families out there who don't believe boys should play girls' sports.
They're not boys. I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table. I am not going to listen to you call a trans girl a boy.
Are you going to allow me to finish my explanation?
A troll or trans, bro, you know, I look at them and be like, nah, you better listen to this transphobia or this trans intolerance. No. We're going to reframe it. Yeah, you're going to listen to this trans intolerance. Yes, it is a bit weird that we are trying to turn little kids into, the opposite gender. Like, why are we trying to turn little girls into boys? Why are we trying to turn little boys into girls? Like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we trying to groom kids into this? Why are we chemically castrating kids? Allegedly, of course. Like, isn't that a little bit strange? Like, so you're telling me you're for this? I'll look right across the street. So chemically castrating kids is something you're down with? And you wonder why we lost the election? Like, are you serious, G? I'd look that man dead in his face. I'm like, bro, you wonder why we lost. Because look what you support. Look what you're getting behind right now.
Use a word that's a slur. I'm going to interrupt. That's not how it is. They're not boys. They're not boys. They're not playing girls softball. I'm not going to sit there and listen to that.
Bro, somebody got to cook that man.
Look, this is a really heated issue, right? And
ain't no damn heated issue.
I know that you understand that people have different views.
This is about as easy as don't enforce this weird stuff on kids. It's about as easy as that. Simple, easy, simplistic.
On this, I think out of respect for Jay, like, let's try to talk about this in a way that is respectful.
No, shame on the host there for siding with the fringe-dwelling hysterical clown and trying to police the completely accurate and reasonable language of a man who was making the pertinent point that most normal people don't want boys in girls' sports.
Yeah.
But the white dude for Kamala, well, his tantrum was not over yet.
So the way regular people interpret it,
that's not regular people. That's not regular people. There's no consensus.
Regular people, yes, that's how regular people interpret it. That's the problem. Y'all already, bro. Y'all really think y'all the majority? Y'all really think that everybody think like this because you don't actually go outside and experience life? Because all y'all do is live in these cities and you hear the same ideology. But little do you know, you go outside these cities and people are gonna ask you, yo, what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean a little girl can become a boy? What do you mean a little boy can become a girl? You sound insane. And it sounds like Satan for real. This is some old Satanist. This is some old demonic shit right here. And if y'all don't even really know what this is rooted in, but this is rooted in some demonic shit. So it is kind of crazy how everybody's going with this as if it's like normal or if it's something that well, I'm gonna be real with you, just has to be accepted. I mean, go ahead and make your own life choices as an adult. It's like, cool, you want to be a trans, Satanist, whatever, do whatever you want as an adult. But to push that type of stuff on kids, yeah, you're crossing the line. And the thing is, they're not your fucking kids to do this on. Do this on your own kids. Oh, I forgot you can't have any, so you got to recruit. So, yeah.
These are actually boys. This whole thing about trans girls is a canard. We're talking about a tiny, tiny sliver of the population using rhetoric like you just used, saying this is boys playing girls sports. First of all, we're talking about 5 people in the entire country. We're talking about trans girls being allowed to play with the people who are in their gender. And if you don't believe, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association.
The American Medical Association.
You can see why Donald Trump won in a landslide. And here is Jon Stewart with a message to the pollsters who protected the left from the truth, from the reality that they're the minority.
Send a quick message to all the pollsters, the election pollsters. Me.
Huh?
I don't ever want to from you again, ever. I don't ever want to hear, we've corrected for the overcorrection of the voters. You don't know and
Nah, bro, mad. He's like, I believed in you. I believed in you and you lied to me. You told me that Kamala was going to win. How the fuck she get blown out? I'd have been able to forgive you if it was close, but a blowout is unforgivable. Don't ever tell me shit again. Yeah, I can respect that. I could definitely respect that. Let's hear that passion again. You gotta love it.
From the reality that they're the minority.
Send a quick message to all the pollsters, the election pollsters, me.
Yeah.
I don't
That man funny.
ever want to from you again, ever. I don't ever want to hear, we've corrected for the overcorrection of the voters. You don't know about and I don't care for you.
I mean, I never did.
Joining me now.
The problem is you cared from, and the problem is we stopped. We've been stopped caring for these people and what they've been talking about. Trump 2024.
Now is Newsweek's senior editor-at-large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel, Josh Hammer. Josh, Joe Biden will be hosting President-elect Donald Trump on Wednesday. The man he called a fascist, a white supremacist, a threat to democracy. How's that meeting going to go?
You know, Rita, if half the people that have been calling Donald Trump a Hitlerite fascist, a unique historical threat to American democracy or constitutional order, if half these people took themselves seriously, they would have already bought plane tickets out of the country. I mean, either the man is Hitler, either he is a Nazi, or he is not. If you believe what you've been saying, even to the slightest degree, you would have been seeking asylum. You would have been trying to flee to Canada at a bare minimum, the longest border in the world, the U.S.-Canadian border. I mean, these people just cannot be taken seriously. I mean, Joe Biden, when his meeting with Donald Trump, I mean, Joe Biden has been saying that Donald Trump is Hitler, so is Kamala Harris there. But Joe Biden, as we just saw in that clip, is also not a particularly well man. I mean, he cannot finish a coherent sentence at this point there. So at this point, I'm just hoping that this meeting somehow goes off where they can actually physically communicate to one another. I mean, that is actually the barest of bare minimums, is that he can actually complete sentences in the English language and they can have a conversation. Now, the good thing about Donald Trump, as you know, is that Donald Trump has been president before. He literally has already done this for 4 years, so he probably doesn't need the whole tutorial, the whole learning curve thing. He's been there, done that. He has sat at the Resolute desk. He has been there before. So, look, I mean, this transition period is off to a blistering start. The nominees, the personnel were being named on a day-in, day-out basis there. It's basically going to be an all-out sprint at this point until January 20th, 2025, when Donald Trump, God willing, finally takes power and Joe Biden has seen the ash heap of history.
Now, what do you make of the theory that Joe Biden got his revenge on the Obama-Pelosi-led coup against him by endorsing Kamala Harris, a candidate they didn't want, a candidate that Barack Obama didn't want?
Yeah, nobody wanted her.
Did Joe know that
she couldn't even win a primary? Everybody knew she was a weak candidate. We all knew it. But for some reason, I guess they couldn't find anybody more controllable. So they're like, look, man, this is the best puppet we got, guys. May not be the puppet we want, but it's a puppet we got. Biden done sold out to us in that debate. It is what it is.
Had no chance of winning. And
like, they're probably looking over at Michelle and be like, man, Mike, why didn't you run? I mean, Michelle, why didn't you run? God damn it.
By endorsing her, he kind of forced everybody else's hand.
You know, I don't think that Joe Biden knows what he's doing. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, but I genuinely do not think that he is fully in control of either his physical or his mental faculties at this point here. I mean, anything that Joe Biden does, I guess what I'm saying is it's not actually coming from Joe Biden. It's coming from quote unquote Dr. Jill Biden. It's coming from people around him there. Joe Biden is not calling the shots at this particular point there. I mean, the funniest thing to me that I have seen since last Tuesday's election, there is a lot of funny stuff out there. I mean, The View, the left-wing media, they're having conniption fits. Sonny hosted on The View is routinely just saying that the only reason Kamala Harris lost is because of rampant, ubiquitous sexism and misogyny in America. I mean, way to actually miss what's happening right under your nose. But one of the funniest things of this post-election fallout to me is the way that the Biden camp and the Harris camp just continue to snipe at each other as if they are the problem. Let me be very clear. In my opinion, Joe Biden is not the reason the Democrats lost. Kamala Harris is not the reason the Democrats lost. The reason the Democrats lost is the Democrats, is for the actual stances they have taken. But
yeah, that's really what it is. It's like, Kamala Harris ain't really, bro. Let's be real. Kamala Harris was only a puppet that was preaching what her party low-key stands on. And that's the problem. Y'all had shit policies from the get-go. Like, nobody wanted more immigrants. Nobody wanted transgenders going over the border and getting surgery with taxpayer monies. Nobody want their kids to be trans. Like, oh man, I mean, bro, nobody want high taxation and nobody want a mandate on EV cars. Y'all was doing everything wrong. Oh yeah, and we also didn't want high inflation, but I don't know. That's just because y'all don't know how to manage money for some reason or manage the economy. I don't get it. Nobody wanted none of that, and y'all couldn't understand that for some crazy reason.
For the actual completely radical, out of touch nature of the various positions they have taken when it comes to gender, to race, to immigration, to culture, to economics, to foreign policy, you name it. They are completely out of touch with the median American. And unless and until they actually have the introspective moment where they look in the mirror and they actually realize that, unless and until that happens, I think Republicans are well set to continue winning well into the future at this point.
Well, that analysis has been just so completely divorced from reality. If they don't actually figure it out, we're going to see a dynasty of Republicans in the White House, because they seem to be doubling down the Democrats on the crazy.
I keep saying they keep going like this. You keep talking like this, Democrats, and it's going to be the same results every time y'all pull up. Y'all gonna lose the same way every time. Same state, same number. Every goddamn time until you change your rhetoric. It was all y'all. It's all y'all rhetoric. It's all what y'all think and what y'all preach to y'all people and what they went out there and spread themselves. And you got a lot of people out here looking stupid right now, and they're rejecting you. Some of them are still holding strong, but don't worry, they'll fall off in the coming months. Y'all time is almost up, and you only got probably got like a few weeks to backtrack, or at least to apologize and have some type of humility to y'all. I'm just saying anyone will do, but I guess the apology and the humility would probably be best and show people that you're a little bit more human.
Craziness, the identity politics, the victimhood, all the
or stand on hubris. You could do that as well.
Really crippled them as a party and alienated them from so much of their supporter base. I want to play you a clip from Megyn Kelly, a woman who has had clashes with Donald Trump in the past, but she was a very strong supporter for him in 2024. And here she explains why the Democrats and their miserable cat lady ideology lost.
Standing up for female empowerment, which I've done my entire life, does not require me to all over American men. I'm sorry. But this is why I never called myself a feminist to begin with, because I knew what you leftists thought of feminism. It meant abortion and crapping on men. And most of us women over on the side of the normies don't want that. We love our husband. We love our boys, our sons, our dads, our brothers, our male friends and colleagues. And we are not ready to consider this a zero-sum game where we must advance at their expense. Until you get that through your thick head, you'll keep losing.
God, I love her. She makes some excellent points there. The Democrats would do well to listen to the likes of Megyn Kelly instead of the ladies of The View, all the MSNBC crazies, because if they actually listen to that, they could address it and be competitive next time.
Yeah, Rita, they could, but they will choose not to do so. And I think that they have a very concerted reason why they are choosing not to do so. I mean, look, one of two things has to be true when it comes to this post-mortem analysis, if you can even call it that Democrats are very publicly engaging in. On the one hand, they're actually really stupid. I mean, like, one possibility is that they're genuinely operating at a low IQ level. I don't.
I think it's just too much. They got the pride in it. They got their whole pride in it. Like, they really think they're on the right side, and they just can't see themselves being wrong.
I believe that to be the case. I genuinely
low IQ is a bit of a stretch, though. So but I'm a little nicer than them, I guess.
As to what actually is going on here. And what I was discussing with some others here earlier today, I'm actually on the road to speak to some college and law school students. So what I was discussing earlier today with some college students that I'm speaking to is what I think is happening. The Democrats have become so convinced over the course of 15, 20, 30 years, especially since Barack Obama in 2008, they've become so convinced of their own moral.
And make sure to double tap that screen like the video, guys, or the three dots up there in the corner. Appreciate the support.
Moral and ethical and indeed intellectual superiority. They are so convinced that they are actually better than the rest of America, flyover country, the people who live closer to a river valley in America rather than the two coasts and people like that. They think that their values are better. They think that their way of life is better. Their approach to everything from religion to economics to transgender to immigration to race. They are so convinced that they are superior, that therefore the only possible explanation as to how the political party that ostensibly embodies and exudes this great virtuous movement, the only reason why it could possibly lose under this ridiculous analysis is that half the country is actually racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. That is actually, I think, what you're seeing out there. Megyn Kelly is obviously spot on. She's one of our most astute observers of the American political scene today. She's actually giving a very free bit of advice here to a political party that is not her own. They would be very wise to take it, but they're probably not going to do so.
Well, I think you've been too quick to discount the low IQ explanation. I think that may be at play as well. You wrote a fantastic piece about the end of Obamaism, it's hard to say, for Newsweek. That piece is being shared widely. The American people have definitely rejected that agenda. They are backing Trump's MAGA movement. What will be the impact on Barack Obama's legacy here? And what do you see, not just for the next 4 years of Trump's second term, but beyond that?
You know, this is one of the most important questions that I don't think we know the answer to yet. In fact, my father-in-law just asked me this question the other day, and I wasn't sure how to answer him either. Look, if Democrats are actually going to be intellectually honest, if they were actually going to arrive at the correct conclusions as to what went so catastrophically wrong in this particular election cycle, then they're going to realize that the Barack Obama coalition is over, that the one-time coalition of the ascendant, as was commonly referred to, has actually now descended into utter ruination and decay and decline, and it has just totally and completely collapsed. And this is a coalition that was formed based on all the intersexual constituent parts of America. You had Blackans and Hispanics and immigrants and young people and this and that, and it's all done. I mean, Donald Trump has shattered that coalition. So it logically follows that if Democrats are actually going to soberly realize that the guy who put his entire legacy on the line yet again, Barack Obama, which he did this cycle, he spoke at the DNC in Chicago. He was all over the campaign trail for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in those final moments. He really put his entire two-term legacy on the line for this miserable, awful ticket, and he lost big time. So if you combine the fact that the ticket actually lost and then Barack Obama's signature coalition lost, he should be gone. I mean, he should be out of public light. He should be relegated to Martha's Vineyard, go host some fancy cocktail parties for your elite crowd, whatever there. That is what should happen. But again, to circle back to what we were saying a few minutes ago, I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think that they're actually going to arrive at any of the correct conclusions. So I seriously think, Rita, that 4 years from now in 2028, when J.D. Vance will probably be elected the next president of the United States, I think 4 years from now in 2028, Democrats are just going to run the same playbook all over again. I don't think it's actually going to work any better 4 years from now than it did this cycle.
And we're going to have the same pollsters telling us how close it is, and they'll be terribly wrong again because they
blow them out again. And we'll blow them out again because these people are honestly just insane at this.